Welcome to Cherryblossom Yoga. I'm Robin Dinerman. This is a half-hour Hatha yoga class for beginners and continuing students. I hope you'll join us by trying some of the postures, which are called asanas, or follow along with the deep breathing. Make sure you're wearing loose, comfortable clothing, and I'm on a sticky mat. You could be on an exercise mat, or if you prefer to stay on your couch or in a chair, sit up straight and breathe deeply and do what you can with the arm movements and the leg movements. Most of my classes today are seniors, and I've learned a lot through some training and experience now on working with the aging body. So I'd like to show you some use of my blanket. This is a blanket, of course. You could use a big, thick beach towel. But you can help support the different limbs by using a folded blanket. It allows you to put some weight on the blanket, and as you relax into the posture, you'll be able to sink down safely. You won't need to worry about falling or going too far. The blanket supports you and helps you to let go of your mind, your mind which is holding you back, saying, nah, this probably isn't a good idea. So watch what we do, try it out on your own, be very careful, listen to your body. So first of all, one of the basic positions, asanas, is table, which is called Majariasana. And here my hands are shoulder distance apart, the fingers are spread, but I have a little arch under the palm, like a cushion of air would fit underneath. And then I press down a little bit harder with the first two fingers and the thumbs. And the reason for doing this is that a lot of people will press down really flat and hard, and then they'll start saying, my hand hurts, or my wrist hurts. So this will help you in this position. Now the wrists are pretty much just in front of your shoulders, so the hands are in front of your shoulders, shoulder distance apart. Now the other technical part is that many of us, particularly women, will turn the elbows like this. You can see my inner elbows. So you need to turn them inwards so they're facing each other. So it's all in the details. So here we are in the table posture. You can see why it's called table. And my knees are just outside of the hips. They are, I hope, hip distance apart. Turn the inner elbows inward. I have the cushion of air under my palms. Now, I found over time what I was doing was letting my head hang. So you want to lift the back of your neck and then take a deep breath in and lengthen your spine. Now here with the in-breaths, you allow the belly to soften and to round. With the out-breath, here we come into the cat stretch. So I'm tightening the belly muscles, pulling the navel in toward the spine, firming the buttocks, and tucking the pelvis under, pointing the tailbone under, and tucking my head under. So I'm trying to put my jaw on my throat and my chin to my chest, and then I inhale and lengthen. Now many yoga teachers will teach what's called the cat-cow. So they go from the arched back of the cat into table briefly, and then they arch the back in the other direction. I don't teach that because two reasons. One is I think people sway their backs too much when they arch in the opposite direction. So unless you have a teacher watching you or an assistant guiding you, I suggest that you not arch in the opposite direction. The other reason is that the vertebrae of the cervical spine are very, very, very delicate. So if you lift your head and keep lifting it up, and you'll see people arching their necks backwards so the chin comes up really high. the older you get, the drier the vertebrae become, and the more fragile they become. And even if you move slowly, you're putting some pressure on those drier, more fragile vertebrae of the cervical spine, your neck. So that's why I don't do what is called cow. So here we are, back in table, inner elbows toward each other, back of the neck lifted. I'm going to push my towel away a bit, my blanket. Now, if you look at the ankles, a lot of people will lift up their heels, and they're going to put weight on the toes. Now, you're going to put stress and strain on your toes, and instead, I suggest you turn the heels outward and point the big toes toward each other. Now, many of us seniors have lost the flexibility in the toes, and even through the ankle as well. So here's where the folded towel or blanket comes in handy, and I use this in classes to help people sink down into the posture. So here I'm going to put my ankles and feet right on the towel, turn the toes toward each other, and now I've got some support and some lift where I'm not hurting my toes, and that's really important. So from here we go into the cat. Breathe in, belly rounds, breathe out, tighten the belly muscles, pull them up toward your spine, tuck your chin in. You don't need to move the shoulders. That's another thing. The shoulders are neutral. Inhale and lengthen, and exhale and arch. And inhale and lengthen. And exhale and arch. So notice the shoulders are not moving. What you probably cannot see is how firmly I'm tightening the buttocks. You really have to create some pressure there and tighten. But see, at the same time you're doing that, you're toning those muscles. Then watch yourself, because I feel my head sinking down. So exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Now the undulation, the movement of the spine, helps flush out the little wastes and toxins and whatever material gathers in and around the spinal column, the vertebrae, the discs. Those are the discs. And the spinal cords which run through the spine. So that movement, this undulation movement of your back, helps flush that area out. It helps improve flexibility of the spine. It will help you to sit up straight a little bit. It helps everybody a little bit differently. But remember, the effects of yoga are cumulative. So here we've used the blanket underneath the feet. I'm going to pull back into what I call extended child. The arms are straight out in front of me. They're shoulder distance apart. Fingers are spread. And think about this. You're going to press your finger pads into the mat and walk one hand after the other. So you're pressing your fingers down to get some traction. And at the same time you're doing this, you're pulling the hips back. So you're trying to lengthen the spine. And as your underarms open up a bit, you're going to feel a wonderful stretch throughout the entire underarm on each side. And it even travels down a little bit to the ribs on that side. So again, the movement is through the fingers, pulling the arm. And then you can reach with both hands at the same time and pull back and then soften up. Let the hands float back. You'll feel the shoulders move away from the ears. The neck frees up. And then you're ready to come back into table, elbows turned toward each other. So this can be a starting and ending position here. You can do a lot of different things from here. There's another position called egg, which many teachers call child, and I'll show you the difference. Egg, you're folded over your thighs, your forehead to the floor. Your arms are draped around your legs, and as you exhale, you allow the shoulders and elbows and arms and hands to sink down, and directing your breath towards the lower back. The tailbone starts sinking down. You get a nice, gentle stretch assisted by gravity for your lower back, also now for your neck. Now, coming up, I'm going to lift the back of my neck first and then unhinge upwards. So you don't want to lift up fast or jerk your head up. Everything is done thoughtfully and with awareness. Now, where this posture, the egg, becomes the child, is that you turn your face to one side. So now I've turned my face to the left, and the blood goes more to the right hemisphere of the brain. So after several breaths on this side, you can come to center, turn your head to the other side, sink down. So it's actually two different postures. The other thing you can do is place your hands under your shoulders and press the floor away, uncurl the neck, and sit up tall. Now, in these postures, depending on how you're built, some people are short through the thighs, some are long, some are large through the bust, some are not. What I suggest to many of my students is that they separate the knees even as wide as the mat or closer, depending on how you're built and what feels comfortable for you. So here you could come down into the posture with the knees apart, and here my forehead touches the floor. I'm using my hands, I'm pressing up again. Now, I'd like to bring the knees in closer, but here's something else you can do. You can make a fist pillow. One fist on top of the other, your forehead sinking down, and now you can let the weight of your head come down. Now I feel that my neck is more protected. I can relax the shoulders more, I can let go. I can let the tailbone drop. So I'm using my fist to support me. There's a third way you could do it with your hands at your jaw, but I would recommend that you look straight down at the mat because you don't want to lift your chin up. So placing the hands down, walking them back toward my body, unhinging, and coming up, back into table again. And I'm going to scoot the blanket away and turn to the front. And I hope that was helpful for you. We're going to take a little bit of a break and we'll return to Cherryblossom Yoga.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume, not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back to Cherryblossom Yoga. We're going to continue using a folded blanket or towel to help support us in our postures. So another really important posture, the staff posture, I highly recommend especially for seniors, works really well when you elevate your hips. I'm going to turn sideways, so I'm hoping you can see me a little bit better that way. So I'm going to sit right on the very edge, the fold, and I can feel, in my case, I can feel my sit bones pressing down. You can see I'm elevated here. I've got room to slide my hands under. So then I place my feet about hip distance apart, so the ankles are lined up with the knees and the hips. Then I take my thumbs, slide them under the thigh, just beyond, a couple inches beyond the sit bones, and press down. Now pressing down, I'm lifting my rib cage up. Gravity is pulling my hips and my legs downward, lengthening my spine. I'm building a little bit of strength through the wrist and the arms. I'm looking straight ahead and breathing. And exhale, release. Try to keep your shoulders up above your hips and keep your rib cage lifted out of your waist. Sit tall. I hope that feels good for you. So I'm going to turn to the front again and use the folded blanket underneath me. There we go. Sitting at the very end, feet hip distance apart. We're going to do a seated forward bend. So we're going to start in staff position, feet slightly flexed, hands at the heart with the thumbs linked, sitting tall as you can, and breathe in. Breathing out, dive down, inhale, breathe up, and then exhale, come forward and stop about, 1.5 feet, 2 feet above your toes, and reach. And reach. You'll feel some stretch in the lower back area, and then inhale up, and exhale, lowering the hands, returning them to your heart, and sitting and breathing. Breathe in, and breathe out, diving down. Breathe in, lifting up. Breathe out, hinging forward. And once you get to that point, you're about 1.5 feet over your feet. Reach outward. Press down through the sit bones. Press your thighs downward. And then inhale up, unfold. And exhale and lower and hands to the heart. The third time, we're going to try to go a little bit farther. But remember, no bouncing. And don't force yourself to go farther than you think your body wants to go. So hands at the heart, breathe in, breathe out, dive down, breathe in, arms up alongside the ears, breathe out, pull your belly in, and then see if you can reach your toes or even the balls of your feet. Try to lower the shoulders. I'm not letting my head drop, I'm just letting the shoulders sink. Getting a wonderful stretch all through the lower back, all through the backs of my legs. Now, many of my students can't do this. Remember, I've been doing this for 40 years or so. So I suggest that you put your hands at your ankles or above the ankles, as long as you're bringing the shoulders forward and they're down, but don't collapse inward. You want to keep the breastbone lifted, and this is enough to do. Remember, we're not striving for perfection in the posture. We're being aware of safety and listening to your body, judging whether a position is something you should go for or explore, or maybe just watch and visualize in your brain. So coming back to center, shoulders roll back, shoulder blades sink down. I'm going to bring one leg out. Take a hold of the other leg. Now I take the foot in my hand and the leg in my other hand and gently rotate forward. And that helps open up the ankle. It helps open up the knee. Remember, if you've got bad knees, a lot of my students do, You have to take care with what you're doing. You may even want to put another blanket under this knee so you can let the leg relax and sink down into it. If you can, you would tuck the toes under this foot. This foot is slightly flexed. We're going to turn and aim for the inside of the extended leg. Hands at the heart, breathe in. Breathe out, dive down. Breathe in, reach up. And exhale, come forward just inside of the leg. And the hands are about 18 inches or so above the plane of the foot. Inhale up. And exhale, lower, hands to the heart, pause. Breathe in. Breathe out and dive down. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge forward. And you can hold for a breath or two, or you come back up with your in-breath. And exhale. Now the third time coming down, I'm going to turn at the waist and aim for the foot. Breathe in and out, diving down. Inhale up and exhale and reach for the foot. Remember, if you can't reach the foot, go for your ankle or higher up on the shin. Go to where you can reach. And let the shoulders sink down. Keep the breastbone lifted. Press down through the thighs. And then let's just slide back up to center and hands to the heart. And then open up the other leg. Take a hold of this straight leg, bend the knee, rotate the foot outward. If you can, tuck the toes under the thigh and turn toward the inside of the extended leg. Breathe in. Breathe out and dive down. Inhale up. Hinge forward. Stopping and then reaching. Coming back up again with the in-breath. Lowering the hands with the out-breath. And repeating, dive down. Reaching up. And exhale. Inhale up. Lower the arms. Pause and breathe. And this time we're aiming more toward the foot. So diving down, inhaling up, and exhaling, reaching for the toes, or reaching for the ankle or the shin. Lean into that position. Drop the shoulders. Keep the neck free. And then let the hands slide up, turn to the front, hands to the heart. And we've completed Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. We're going to do a little bit of relaxation, and once again, use the blanket as a means of support. A lot of people, including myself, find the lower back area uncomfortable. When we do Shavasana, the corpse pose, which is done usually at the end of class. So I suggest that you take a rolled up blanket or a folded blanket and place it under your knees. The feet are hip distance apart. You can lower yourself down very slowly and cautiously and place your head down softly. Now, elevating the knees helps release the pressure on the lower back. What you can do as well is bring the feet to the floor, lift the lower back up, point the tailbone up, and then press the lower back to the floor. You may even, if you use your feet, you'll feel the waist press down. You feel the tummy sink down. This should feel really good for your back. Now, the arm position for corpse pose. The palms are turned upward. We see this opens up the muscles here. And many people rest on the rims of their shoulder blades. So I suggest you take a deep breath in and then tuck the shoulder blades in. Can you see how my arms are rotating outward? And then I can sink down, and this flattens the shoulder blades to the floor, so I'm not resting on the rims of the shoulder blades. So pausing and breathing, and make any further adjustments you need so your body feels comfortable and you won't be distracted. Take deep breaths in through your nostrils. Pull them down your throat. Let it fill your lungs. And let the air and fresh oxygen travel throughout your body, nourishing and renewing each and every cell. Let your eyes sink down into their sockets. Feel the heaviness of your cheeks and your jaw. And rest. Rest comfortably in Shavasana, the corpse. And if you wish, now, ending the relaxation almost, bring your arms over your head, take a breath, give yourself a good stretch, and then bring your knees up. I'm going to push my blanket away, knees up, feet to the side and pressing off. Roll onto your side and let your head sink down onto your arm, or you might have another blanket or pillow here. So this is now almost a fetal posture, and from here there's a very safe way to come back up into a seated posture. You're going to press your front hand into the mat, let your head hang down, and walk your hands back to your body, coming into a seated position. Thank you for joining me today. I hope these tips were helpful and you can make use of them. And I hope you carry a wonderful feeling with you into your day, into your week, and into your life. Namaste.